starts right now.
On streets! On streets!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! He said what? He said what? He said what?
Thousands showing up this evening for the No Kings demonstration, the San Antonio version of similar rallies that happened all across the country today. The SA March started at Travis Park and wound throughout downtown. People of all ages and backgrounds took part in this, standing against the actions of President Trump's administration. Erica Hernandez walked and talked with some of those demonstrators to hear why they chose to march.
People out here for many reasons. You can see now Travis Park is quiet, but earlier thousands were out here. I got to walk and talk to them during the march, and they were all out here for different reasons. Seeing all these people out here today makes me proud. Many filled with pride and emotion as they walked through downtown.
It's hard not to cry because you feel the emotion that you know that you're not alone in this fight, and it just feels beautiful.
Today is very exciting to see the diversity, and if we can just get all of these people to vote, I think we can work our way out of this.
The San Antonio No Kings demonstration, one of many taking place all across the country on Saturday.
There's nothing but love here. There's nothing but
happiness, love, hope, peace, community, respect, honor.
Everyone marching to have their voices heard.
It means a lot. I just think about my grandparents and everything that they did, and me as an American and who I am now. This is what they wanted, and I'm just happy to be here with all these people.
We don't want anything but democracy and freedom and justice for all.
Now, I've been here in San Antonio for almost 15 years. I haven't seen anything quite like this with all these people that were here. Overall, this was a very peaceful and organized rally that many were calling a moment of hope and unity. In downtown, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
It was a peaceful night, and while No Kings demonstrations took place blocks away at Travis Park, a heavy security presence surrounded the Alamo this evening. Texas Department of Public Safety troopers, as well as busloads of Texas National Guard members, created a perimeter around the historical landmark, plus a third group. This is Texas Freedom Force, also showed up, most of them openly carrying long guns.
It's not just about us. It's not about San Antonio or the state of Texas. People come here from across the country, the worldwide visitors come out, and they come just to just honor and just cherish the Battle of the Alamo, and that's what it's all about.
Alamo Plaza will reopen to the public at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Meantime, people of every background and many different ages showed up to demonstrate and march today. Our Daniela Ibarra caught up with some parents who were hoping to inspire the next generation to speak up.
The pulse of democracy is what Chloe Higgins hopes runs through her kids' veins.
Why is it important for them to see this?
A variety of reasons, but I think first and foremost, children need to understand that there is power in peaceful protest. Also, I want my kids to be on the right side of history.
We just want to kind of set the tone for future generations to use their voice.
It's a lesson so many parents hope their children learn by watching and doing.
This is our first time, so she made and designed her own poster.
Some of those posters made their way through San Antonio's streets. Celestina de la Garza and her 3 kids walked the entire route.
What was it like marching through downtown with your kids?
It feels empowering, and I'm grateful to know that there are other people in this city who feel exactly like we do for children that look exactly like mine.
Not everyone along the route thought the march mattered.
A lot of these people are here protesting the administration, several things that they disagree with. What are you hoping to accomplish by being here?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of these people need to go home and do some chores because it's not going to change anything.
You know, there's people who obviously don't agree with you, who think that everything that you believe in is wrong. What would you tell those people?
There was a time when I would say it's okay to have a difference in political opinion, but now at this point, I really feel like it's a moral thing.
People united will never be divided.
Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
We'll never be divided.
Not just here in San Antonio, massive crowds gathering from coast to coast today as No Kings rallies took place across the country. Here you can see several different views. One took place in Austin. Also on your screen, protests in Los Angeles, Philadelphia, even Mexico City. We know that more than 2,000 No Kings demonstrations were held across the U.S. today. All the while, President Trump and members of his administration were taking the U.S. Army military parade to the streets of Washington, D.C. The parade commemorated the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, with more than 6,000 soldiers marching down the National Mall. The parade also happened to coincide with President Trump's 79th birthday.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
The military parade and its price tag in the tens of millions were just one of many grievances that some people marching nationwide had with the Trump administration. We'll have a full look at that parade and the national response coming up in our next half hour. In Austin, one person has now been arrested for allegedly threatening state lawmakers who planned to attend a rally there in opposition of President Trump. The state Capitol building was evacuated this afternoon after DPS says they received credible threats against state lawmakers and staffers. Troopers later arrested one person they say was connected to those threats following a traffic stop in LaGrange. This comes after two Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses were shot, two of them killed at their homes this morning. The search for that suspect is still on tonight. According to the Texas Tribune, in an email sent to state lawmakers and Capitol staff, the Texas House Administration Chair said officials are taking all necessary precautions. He added that he's in communication with federal partners and said it seems the shootings in Minnesota were an isolated incident. Back here at home, let's take a look outside with live cam. Weather was just fine for all the things happening outdoors today. Shelby, any more rain chances as far as the weekend goes?
So we are tracking a light chance of maybe a few pop-ups tomorrow for your Father's Day. It shouldn't have too much of an impact though, but it definitely will still feel humid and feel a little toasty tomorrow. And this is a loop of the last 6 hours for the little bit of rain we did see in south central Texas. Now, once again, it arrived just from the east to the west, and it did provide a few KSAT Connect viewers the ability to see a beautiful rainbow. This is a picture outside of Poteet earlier today of that rainbow here in south central Texas. Now, not only did we have rain today, but we've seen a lot of rain over the last few weeks or even the last few months. Now, so far throughout the entire year of 2025, we are just 2 inches shy of 20 inches. We are above our average, but we do have more rain chances coming up. I'll break that down coming up in just a bit, Myra.
Yes, thanks, Shelby. All people unaccounted for after Thursday's record rainfall have now been recovered. According to the San Antonio Fire Department, 13 people have been confirmed dead as a result of that flash flooding. 11 of those people were found in the Beidle Creek area near Perrin Beidle Road in Loop 410. Another victim was found a few miles upstream, and the most recent person recovered was found in the area of Highway 90 in Leon Creek. SAPD says as many as 15 cars and 19 people were swept away at Perrin Beidle. There were some survivors. 10 of those victims have so far been identified. A woman was shot and killed early this morning, and investigators still not sure why. This happened at an apartment on Hebner Road just before 8 this morning. Officers say the woman was found inside an apartment with a gunshot wound. She later died at a hospital. Police did detain multiple people who were nearby when that shooting happened, but say none of them were cooperating with the investigation. Tonight, it's still unclear what led up to that shooting. Meantime, 3 people sent to a hospital today after an accidental shooting at a local gun range. This happened at a place to shoot, a gun range on the south side. Officers say a man was shooting skeet with a shotgun. He had his weapon pointed at the ground and then accidentally pulled the trigger. Pellets ricocheting off the ground injured that man and a group of other people. 3 people were taken to a hospital, but they are expected to be okay. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, missiles raining down on Israel for a second day. We'll have the latest on the ongoing conflict with Iran. And thousands of people in the Alamo City coming out to celebrate Juneteenth a few days early. David Karp takes us to a party on the east side next. Today, hundreds of people across San Antonio came out to the east side to celebrate Juneteenth, marking the day in 1865 when news of freedom from slavery finally reached Texas. The actual holiday isn't until Thursday, but today those at this celebration told our Devin Karp that passion is right on time for this event.
How you guys feeling about Juneteenth today, coming out to the parade? You excited?
We feel like $1 million, man.
We're doing it right now, Juneteenth parade, right now, live.
Yeah, it's exciting to be a part of history.
Awesome.
Especially so young.
We out here with the community, you know, celebrating Juneteenth. So it's an awesome day today.
Yeah.
We're from the community, so we want to be the hub of the community, right?
Yeah.
So it is pretty awesome to share with people who we've grown up with, grown to love, and enjoying the beautiful east side of San Antonio.
The history, and we all together to show that we all Americans.
We're united.
We united.
Yeah, what have you done so far?
We joined the parade and we passed out candy.
This is something that I've done every year for the past few years, well, a couple of decades.
Yeah.
As a part of the Juneteenth Freedom Foundation that hosts the actual parade itself.
It stands for the blood that was shed, and black represents the people themselves, and green symbolizes the natural wealth and prosperity.
What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, it means not only historically, but realizing how far we've come and how far that we need to go.
Yeah.
So this just signifies a part of our history, but it's a lot more to it than that.
I want people to understand it's not the black thing we're celebrating, it's a freedom thing we're celebrating. So once we can get that spread across San Antonio, I think we can really boost the celebration.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's talk about the forecast now with Shelby Ebertowski. Tomorrow's Father's Day. People have outdoor plans, I'm sure. Anything weather-wise interfering with that?
Yes, there's a few things. It's been humid the last few days, and we're still going to continue to have that chance for some isolated showers. Even temperatures tomorrow are still getting in the warmer side. But right now, I wanted to take a look at the temperatures. Considering we're still at 11 o'clock, we're still having feels like in those heat indices in the 90s, especially in areas of Del Rio, sitting at 87 degrees currently. And that's going to continue to be a little bit of the story tomorrow. Temperatures will still be a little on the cooler side in those 80s and 90s, but those heat indices will continue to be on the warmer side in those 80s, even triple digits in some areas. Now, this is a look at the heat indices expected tomorrow around 4:30. Now, our air temperatures won't be in the triple digits, but it's going to feel like it's 106 in San Antonio, 103 in Gonzales, even 101 degrees in areas of the hill country near Kerrville. And that's because our air temperature will continue to still be in those 90s, but we're seeing a lot more humidity and a lot more moisture in the air, so it's going to feel a little warmer. But like I mentioned, our air temperatures only expected to be around 93 degrees here in San Antonio. But pay attention, we are tracking some isolated rain chances tomorrow. Now, once again, it's going to be very isolated at times, so you don't need to cancel your Father's Day plans. Maybe just have that Weather Authority app handy for the radar, or even maybe have a backup change of plans just in case to get inside. Tomorrow morning, you're waking up maybe with an isolated shower or two, and it's going to continue to have some isolated showers just to the west of us. But then with all that moisture coming up from the Gulf, that's where we're expecting the potential for some thunderstorms to continue to make its way into areas potentially of San Antonio. If anything, it'll be along the I-35 corridor and just to the east, but there is the potential for any of these thunderstorms to produce quarter-size hail, possibly. But we're not looking at flooding, we're not looking at strong winds, and that's going to continue to be the first band. And then we're tracking another line of some showers and storms coming through tomorrow evening. This is expected to be around 8 p.m., but once again, we're not expecting flooding. If we see any sort of severe threats, it's going to be hail, potentially about a quarter size, and that's already gone by about 11 p.m. tomorrow. So it's going to be very quick. Once again, very isolated. Not everyone's going to see the heavy downpours at times. And then overnight into Monday morning, more showers and storms possible along the coast, but most of it's even going to be just to the east of Houston, so you don't need to change your Father's Day plans just yet. But that's not the only chance of rain we have over the next 7 days. That's just the rain tomorrow into Monday. We're tracking more rain potentially later in the week, about Thursday and Friday, and that's going to produce much needed rainfall for most of us. We're looking at about maybe ½ an inch potentially for areas of San Antonio. So once again, we'll keep you posted on that, but I hope everyone has a great Father's Day tomorrow. Hopefully, once again, don't need to change your plans, just have the radar handy just in case.
It's wild. We have more and more rain chances this time of year.
Yes, we're getting into the summer months, so it's going to be a little more wet than normal.
Yeah, we'll take it where we can get it. Thank you, Shelby. All right, Mary joins us now to talk sports and Spurs trade talks. Kevin Durant has said that he would like to be in the Alamo City.
Yeah, how about that? But the big question now that's being reported is how much will Kevin Durant's preferences have an impact on the Phoenix Suns and their trade talks with teams around the NBA? And golf's biggest stars are struggling at Oakmont Country Club. Also a wild day of Major League Baseball in Texas after the break. Well, Kevin Durant is on an expiring $54.7 million contract for the upcoming NBA season. The Suns, are widely expected to trade the 36-year-old future Hall of Famer, and soon. The trade talks are swirling, and keep in mind it's a very fluid situation. The Athletic reporting tonight, KD prefers to play for the San Antonio Spurs or the Houston Rockets. And ESPN's Shams Charania reported the Heat, the Spurs, and Rockets are 3 teams he'd commit to long term. But it remains to be seen how much of a say Durant will have on where he lands, because Phoenix is looking to make the best deal for its franchise. And acquiring Durant for any team is a major investment, especially at his age. The Spurs do have the assets, though, to pursue him. However, NBA insider Jake Fisher wrote on the Stein line this morning, the Suns aren't enamored with the players San Antonio has made available, adding it's believed the Spurs are only willing to discuss veterans like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Harrison Barnes. Spurs great, the Iceman George Gervin, actually weighed in on this situation, and he thinks the Silver and Black should stay young and keep their picks.
We already got 5 championships, so, if you want some more and you want more than one, then you got to build a solid foundation and, and grow from there. They got a good nucleus. They got a real good nucleus. Fox coming in and, Wemby. I mean, they got a good nucleus to really put something together. The old era is gone. No LeBron, no Steph.
It's a new wave.
Durant, they got the young fellas now. So everybody gonna be an ex-player one day.
All right, well, switching gears, only 4 golfers are under par after 3 rounds at Oakmont Country Club for the prestigious U.S. Open, and that tells you everything you need to know about how challenging the course has been for the world's best golfers. Sam Burns came into the day 1 stroke back of first place. On the par 4 17th, Burns chips over the sand trap and runs it up within a foot of the hole. He tapped it in for birdie to move into the lead at 4 under par. J.J. Spahn would sink his birdie putt to tie Burns in first. However, Spahn would bogey the 18th hole to fall back to second place. And here's how the leaderboard looks going into Championship Sunday. Adam Scott finished 3 under today to rise into tied for second. And hey, Johnson High School alum Johnny Kiefer finished +7 today. The 24-year-old is 12 over par, tied for 56th. The course is tough, but it's made for some exciting golf.
This golf course is difficult, and it takes a lot of patience. I think today didn't drive the ball as well as I would have liked to. But when I got out of position, I feel like I did a good job of getting myself back in the fairway.
I felt like I was battling hard. I mean, you're going to make little mistakes out here. There's so much pitch on the greens. It's really challenging.
All right, we take you to a thriller in Arlington. The Rangers hosting the White Sox, and Wyatt Langford in the bottom of the 8th hits a grounder to short. The throw to first is errant, and Josh Smith scores on the error. Texas goes up 4-3. Top of the 9th, Michael Taylor hits an RBI double to the warning track. It's a tie game. Fast forward to the bottom of the 11th, 2 outs, 2 on. Adolis Garcia hits a line drive walk-off single to center. The Rangers win 5-4. Texas can go for the sweep tomorrow at 1:35.
And Cam did it through the middle. Astros win it 3-2.
Astros rookie Cam Smith hit a tie-breaking RBI single off Twins closer Joan Duran with 2 outs in the 9th inning to give Houston a 3-2 victory over Minnesota today. The Stros also going for the sweep tomorrow at 1:10. And in Texas League Baseball tonight, another walk-off, except it's in favor of the Poodles. They win on a fielding error in the bottom of the 9th, 5-4 over the Missions. The series finale is tomorrow at 6:50 in Amarillo. And coming up later in the show, we are talking Cowboys and Texans as we are a little over a month out from the start of training camp, Myra. Exciting times.
I will never not smile when you say sod poodles.
Right? I'm so happy you brought that up, the sod poodles. Also, sorry to Shelby that the Twins lost. Minnesota fan over there.
All right, thanks, Mary. Still ahead here on the Nightbeat. Before the No Kings demonstrations this afternoon, a group of local women came together for a demonstration of their own. Zaria Oates takes us inside this morning's Mujeres Marcharan protest. And the conflict between Israel and Iran heating up as Israelis take cover from another round of missiles. The latest on this conflict in the Middle East next. The Army held its massive 250th birthday parade today in Washington, D.C. President Trump there to oversee it all. Meanwhile, No King's Day protesters held rallies around the country. ABC's Perry Russum reports from Washington.
Tonight, President Trump's massive military parade. A spectacle in the skies and on the streets of Washington, D.C. Trump watching on as 6,000 soldiers, tanks, and fighter jets roar through the nation's capital. The celebration marking the Army's 250th anniversary. It also happens to be the president's 79th birthday.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
The Army estimates this will cost taxpayers as much as $45 million.
I thank the military for everything they do.
The day starting with a festival on the National Mall, a hands-on look at the past and future of the military. The Army celebration met with demonstrations in D.C. About 2,000 protesters, including veterans, rallying against the Trump administration's policies.
So I feel like it's my responsibility to be out here to remind people and then just to try to uphold that rule of law and the Constitution.
In cities across the country, what's called No King's Day protests. Crowds gathering in Chicago, Atlanta, and Philadelphia.
This administration has been engaging in activities that, as a person of faith, are just immoral.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Dozens of people gathered downtown before the No Kings demonstration today for a separate rally. The night team Zaria Oates was there as supporters marched along the Riverwalk and through downtown, expressing their own concerns with the current administration.
The people will save the people!
The Mujeres Marcharan rally brought all of these people to Labor Plaza in downtown San Antonio.
An area dedicated to the labor movement here in San Antonio, and we brought you together to protest not just against Trump's accelerated fascist plans, but to protest against the investment in militarism and imperialism in San Antonio.
Rally goers voiced their concerns on issues from Governor Abbott deploying the National Guard to San Antonio to immigration rights.
When we have military on our streets, mass surveillance, and people disappearing, we don't live in a democracy. When women and people don't have the right to an abortion or bodily autonomy, we don't live in a democracy.
We deserve the right to due process, and we deserve the right to a trial. And that's why the flag is upside down, because the country's in distress.
The rally comes after weeks of ICE arrests across San Antonio outside of courtrooms and at job sites.
When immigrants who are hardest working, most diverse, most dedicated people are used, exploited, then stripped from their families to appease xenophobic whims, we do not live in a democracy.
Everyone cheered for change, but what that change is,
I think what I want to change, it probably would start with the immigration process, because although a lot of people like to use the argument that, well, why don't people do things the legal way? Sure, but also the immigration process is so outdated. It's very hard, it's very expensive.
So they marched through downtown and made sure tourists on the Riverwalk heard them. They also made it clear that they don't want ICE arrests to be happening in San Antonio, and that the federal government has a long way to go before they rest.
The people will save the people! The people will save the people!
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Looking ahead to Wednesday this week, San Antonio Mayor-elect Gina Ortiz-Jones will be sworn into office. She will replace Ron Nierenberg after his serving 8 years in that same office. He was first elected in 2017 and then re-elected to a fourth term in 2023. On Wednesday, the mayor-elect stopped by the KSAT studios to talk about her future plans.
As we were on the campaign trail talking about, the 100-day plan, which is those things that we know, even if we had a different president, different governor, many of the challenges in our community would be roughly the same. So how can we really take a stab at addressing, again, persistent poverty in our community? I've been very clear that I think expanding pre-K for SA is really an important investment our community must make. We've also got exciting opportunities like Project Marvel, but really making sure that that's a deal that is as best as it can be for San Antonio. And then, of course, given the changing military missions, as the Pentagon is making looking at different paths forward, what is San Antonio's role in that? And so I look forward to driving that discussion, and I think there's some exciting opportunities, especially on the space and cyber side.
Again, the newly elected mayor and city council members are expected to be sworn into office this Wednesday, June 18th. We'll be covering the inauguration here on KSAT as well as KSAT.com. Shakira says she's devastated and heartbroken after having to postpone her show at the Alamo Dome that was supposed to take place last night. As of tonight, it's still unclear when that concert would be rescheduled. In a statement, the Colombian Grammy winner said she had to cancel due to, quote, structural issues. She said she and her team rely on a third party to provide the infrastructure to support her stage. Once a new date is announced, we'll be sure to bring you that information. Israeli citizens on high alert after Iran launched a new barrage of missiles at several cities late Saturday. Take a look here. This was the scene over the skies of Jerusalem as the Israeli Defense Forces said it detected incoming missiles launched from Iran. Israeli military leaders are urging people across the country to head to bomb shelters once they receive an alert. They say defensive systems are working to intercept Iran's missile attack. This follows Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear program on Friday. Israel's military said its attack killed several Iranian scientists and military leaders. Recovery teams in India continuing their work to identify the victims of the Air India plane crash earlier this week. The plane went down just moments after takeoff, killing 270 people on board and on the ground. One man on that plane, miraculously survived. An investigation into the cause of the crash is now underway, and American officials from the NTSB are arriving in India to help with that investigation. Coming up later in the show, from Vatican City to the baseball diamond, Pope Leo XIV makes a special video appearance to tens of thousands gathered at Chicago's field. The message he delivered. Plus, as people roll up their sleeves for World Blood Donor Day, we'll meet a unique donor that you may never have even considered before, donating on 4 legs. That story is up next.
Donates blood about every 2 to 3 months to help other dogs.
Did you know that people aren't the only ones who can give the gift of life? Dogs can too. That's 5-year-old Cora you just saw. She's been donating blood for about 3 years now and prepping to donate again soon.
If anyone that has a dog are aware that they get into trouble, so they can get into traumas and require blood product. At the moment, we mainly talk about being positive or negative in dogs.
Cora's owner donated blood too. If you are interested in donating your pet's blood, talk to your veterinarian. I was today years old.
I mean,
dogs could donate blood.
It makes sense, especially when some animals have health issues. I just didn't realize that it actually happened.
I guess. Look at both of us getting educated here at 11:30 at night.
It's a great way to spend your Saturday. And otherwise, more good news is the Aquifer is up 8 feet just from Tuesday alone. This does include the rain we saw Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and of course the 6 to 8 inches of rain we saw fall just in Thursday morning alone. But we do have more rain chances on the way. It is going to be very light, not only for Father's Day, but also coming up on Thursday and Friday. I'll break down what you need to know coming up after the break.
All right, Shelby, with more rain chances on the way, I'm guessing this humidity is going to stick around.
Yes, and that's the sad thing is I like the humidity at least a little bit, but we've seen... I'm one of the only ones, especially for my hair, it adds a little more volume. It's not as flat, but I think I'm one of the only ones that likes the humidity.
You got the wave going on today.
I do have the wave. Adam Caskey loves the, as he calls it, fiesta hair.
Yes.
But yes, it is going to be humid over the next few days, and it should say Father's Day on the top. It was a Mother's Day graphic that I changed for Father's Day tomorrow. So ignore the title, but the weather is still going to be for tomorrow. We're waking up for Father's Day with temperatures in the 80s. Still going to have our peak temperatures in those upper 80s, even some low 90s for most of us tomorrow. But we're going to continue to see the rain chances increase throughout the day, just like what I showed you earlier. And it's not going to be a big washout. It's going to be very isolated where we do see the rain chances tomorrow. And most of us, like I mentioned, going to be in those 90s. We do have a potential for a few areas just to the south and to the west near Del Rio, Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, and even near Laredo, having their actual air temperature in the triple digits. And then we also have to take into account for the heat indices. Now for San Antonio tomorrow, our heat indices can be up to 106 degrees. And that's also taking into account the humidity we're going to experience, and the humidity, because we have so much extra moisture and humidity in the atmosphere, that's going to make it feel a little warmer throughout the rest of the week. And even on Wednesday, we're still having our heat indices above 100 degrees. Now Thursday, that's when we're starting to see a little bit of a change in the weather pattern. Our air temperature gets to be in those upper 80s, even some low 90s, still feeling like we're in triple digits. Now I mentioned we're tracking more rain chances next week, specifically Thursday and Friday, although it's still a week away, so things can change at least a little bit. Now for the upper level energy, we do have a high pressure system that is going to kind of linger in areas of West Texas throughout the next few days. That's going to give us another chance for temperatures in those mid to upper 90s, but then that high pressure isn't going to get into areas of San Antonio really. Thursday morning, we're already tracking the potential for maybe some isolated showers along the coastal counties, and then that high pressure system finally leaves and we get a low pressure system arriving, bringing up more Gulf moisture as we head throughout the weekend and even into the week following. Once again, it is still a week away, but we wanted to give you that heads up for the potential for some rain chances Thursday, Friday, and even getting into next week. And we're already sitting above our average. Our average rainfall to date, normally we're sitting around 14 inches. So far in 2025, we're just shy of 20 inches of rain. Now, the last few years, we've continued to be a little dry, specifically in 2022. That's when we started seeing the drought conditions in South Texas really start to take shape. But with the rain chances we've seen this last week, even in Memorial Day week, and the rain chances we can see next week, hopefully it should help our drought at least a little bit. But the next drought monitor comes out Thursday, and it then includes all the rain we saw Tuesday night from this week and even on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm eager to see how that changes. Fingers crossed.
The entire weather team will let you know.
All right, thanks, Shelby. Okay, Mary, a Steele High School alum is a bright spot for the Cowboys.
Yes, this past week, the KSAT sports team spent time at the Cowboys and Texans mandatory mini camps. And yeah, San Antonio's own Terrence Steele is leading the way for a young Dallas Cowboys offensive line. And Nick Chubb is fitting in well with the Texans. He tells us exactly why after the break. If it's not broken, don't fix it. That seems to be the motto behind the crafting of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Draft a lineman in the first round and bonus points if their name is Tyler. Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, and now Tyler Booker. However, center Cooper Beebe and San Antonio's own Terrence Steele at right tackle are the two exceptions. Now, sixth-year vet Steele is the longest tenured guy on the O-line. We caught up with Steele, a high school alum of Steele High School, at minicamp last week. Here is part of our chat that will air in full next week on KSAT Sports Now.
The culture here has always been really, really strong. I would say Coach Schottenheimer has brought it to another level. Just the fact, we're all super competitive now in everything we do. That's what he's pushing for. That's our motto, and you can just see it in everything we do in the team meetings. On the practice field, we're practicing, competing against one another, and it's shown so far, and it's been really cool to see. So.
Do you have any personal experiences with him? Because a lot of the players seem to be sharing one-on-one conversations that they're having. And if so, how has that benefited you and your confidence with this team?
Yeah, no, Coach Shaw has always, instilled confidence in me. Even 2 years ago when he was, just working for quality control, he's always pulling me aside, just kind of reassuring me that everything's going to be good. Just keep working my butt off, and it'll all come forth.
All right, talk about your mentality as you approach this season, coming off of, a solid year where you did have a little bit to prove, and now more young talent keeps coming in.
Yeah, 100%. I want to be the best tackle in the league. And I want to win a championship. And that's just what it is. So I'm working towards that goal every day.
On another note, it's an adjustment to see Nick Chubb in any uniform other than orange and brown. But each day that passes, Chubb on the Houston Texans is starting to make a lot of sense. Chubb was drafted in the second round by the Browns in 2018 and was quickly considered a top tailback in the league. Unfortunately, several injuries over the past couple of years have derailed his career, but Chubb says he's feeling pretty close to his original form now 2 years removed from his severe knee injury. Time will tell if the Texans are getting a Nick Chubb 2.0. As for now, Chubb is fitting in well with the culture built by DeMeco Ryans.
He's a young coach, a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. He's young, fresh, he wants to win. And, I was questioning why they wanted me. And then I came here and I saw a bunch of guys who like to work and not talk. And I realized that I'm a perfect fit. So I realized why they wanted me here, and I'm excited about it.
Well, it all came down to the 4x400 meter relay race. The Texas A&M men's track and field team needed a top 2 finish, trailing 7 points to leader USC at that time. And the Aggies did just that to be named 2025 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field co-champions with the Trojans. Exciting times for Texas A&M. They had a great outdoor season.
Yeah, congrats to them.
Yes.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Got a bit of breaking traffic news here this evening. We're getting a live look from our TransGuide camera. This is Loop 4 Lieutenant Harry Wurzbach. Crews working on some kind of crash. 3 of the lanes blocked off. Luckily, traffic out there light this time of night, but something that we're definitely keeping an eye on as those lanes are blocked off and got a lot of flashing lights and traffic slowly making its way around this issue.
My dear friends, it's a pleasure for me to greet all of you gathered together at White Sox Park on this great celebration as a community of faith in the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Talk about angels in the outfield. Pope Leo XIV making a digital appearance at Rate Field, home of the Chicago White Sox and the Pontiff's favorite baseball team. Tens of thousands gathered for a mass held by the Archdiocese of Chicago this afternoon. Pope Leo addressed America's youth, in which he called on them to find hope and meaning through God and in service to others.
For Father's Day tomorrow, as people are waking up, the dads are going to be defending the grill tomorrow. Temperatures increasing into the 90s. Maybe a stray shower, but otherwise, happy Father's Day.
Bravo. Thanks for watching. Have a great Father's Day, everybody.